Hi everybody, welcome to today's video. Today we are setting up my June bullet journal, or my bullet journal for June. This is the hand-lettered dashboard that I will be sending out to my email subscribers. So if you would like a free copy of this, you make sure to head on over to the blog, which is linked down below, and you can sign up for that. The quote is, "Passion leads to incredible journeys." And I've matched the colors to my June theme. So if you wanted to use the same color palette and use the dashboard for that, you are more than welcome to. So I'm super excited. My oranges theme is based off of my fruit bowl surface pattern collection. And I've done it in a second colorway. So I did one set of colors for the full fruit bowl collection, and then I'm calling it the mini orange bowl collection, I'm using more of a retro pastel palette. Just want to apologize quickly. My head got in the way a lot. I'm working on fixing this in future videos, so please just bear with me through this video. I didn't want to take away from a lot of the process. But what I'm doing here is I'm using my Archer and Olive acrylographs, and because I'm painting bigger spaces, what I ended up doing was I colored in with the acrylograph, and then I took a paintbrush and just spread the paint into the space that I wanted colored. Now it gives it's not as opaque as the acrylographs can be, but for coloring a large space quickly and also not using too much ink, I found this was a fantastic way to use it. And it also kind of allowed me to mix the colors. So if you look at my orange that's cut, in between, I wanted a very light orange, and I didn't have an acrylograph in light orange, so I just mixed it with the white. And that's how I got that color, mixing my acrylographs. I'm using palette paper, which is from Strathmore, that's linked down below. And I found that to be really helpful in mixing my colors for my setup, and then also not being too wasteful. So there's still a lot of space. So for my next project, I'm just going to use that same palette. So I'm using a variety of acrylographs from the various Archer and Olive collabs. Using the Amanda Rach Lee is that melon orange color that you see. That's the main body of the orange. I'm using bright orange from the, I believe it's from the primary collection, sorry, and then white. And then the pinks I'm using are from the Valentine's 2022 collection, and I just want to be better about using my stuff. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm mixing the very soft pink with some white and just filling it in. You can obviously do this with regular paint as well. I just wanted the option of using my acrylographs along with painting it out and using it in big spaces. So didn't want to have to color match too much. So this is an orange blossom, and it's got the orange leaf as well, which I think is really fun to have as a floral within the fruit, and then also have the floral mean something, not just be a random flower. Sometimes I feel like people are going to judge me if they're like, oh, that's not the right flower, but you know what, who cares? Do what you want. I have uploaded the patterns I've used onto Society 6, which I've linked down below. The pattern will be coming soon to Spoonflower, if you're interested in that there. For June, I just did some basic hand lettering, matching it to the words passion and journeys. And I go in with a darker blue to outline it and create just a very small shadow. I didn't want anything too bold. And as I say that, I go and I add the borders to my page. I thought about using different colors for my borders, but I don't know. I've used black so far, and I like it, so I keep doing it. I really did struggle putting this palette together. I'm not a pastel person. I like bright jewel tones the most. Those are my jam. But I don't know, I really felt I wanted to use the pastel. So it was a bit of a struggle, which is part of the reason why this video is so late. But I made it work. And this right here, the stencil, is possibly my most favorite Archer and Olive product they've ever made. There are little notches on the stencil. Now, the stencil's for an A5 size, but it's so easy to use those measurements in a B5 as well. So if they ever do come back in stock, because of course they're sold out, run, don't walk. Like, it's absolutely amazing. Yes, I am an affiliate for them and whatnot, but that stencil is possibly my most favorite item that they've come out with. So I made a bit of a smaller calendar page for this month, and you're going to see why. These are little 3x4 pieces of paper of the patterns that go with the orange bowl. And I'm basically doing a bit of a junk journaling / bring more color into my journal with these. And they are so much fun. I do have them for a limited time free download for my From Blank to Brilliant subscribers, which is the newsletter, which is linked down below. I'm also grabbing a piece of craft paper out of my Archer and Olive Neapolitan dark red notepad, and I'm just measuring the size of the sheets just to make sure I'm going to get the right size. I think they're a little bit smaller than 3x4, but that's the general idea there. So on these papers, I will be putting my to-do list for the month, so bigger items that have to get accomplished, or like that align with my monthly goals. And then the other one is to write down what's coming up next month for the following month, so that I have a bit of a space to capture those in. And I thought this was a fun way to incorporate more color. And that's like a bigger piece of washi strip that you can print out. And then, of course, I have the washi stickers, which, again, the washi and these orange images are available for free download for a limited time. I will be opening up my shop again soon, and you'll be able to buy digital kits, but that's going a little bit slower than I meant. So watch this space, it is coming. And then these are stamps that I carved to look like the oranges. I'm not a huge fan of how it turned out, but it's done. It is what it is. And we're going to turn the page and work on the next one. And that was me deciding where I was going to put my headings. I decided to do it on the paper as I didn't like the gap between the craft paper and where the heading was going to be. It just didn't sit right with me. And while I was lettering that, I realized month was not going to fit. So I abbreviated to MON, which basically, if you look at my calendar, looks like I mean next Monday. But it's all good. I know it's next month. And last month I did a notes page. I didn't put in habit trackers because I don't use them. And I know the idea is that you put them in there and you build the habit over time, but it's not happening. I'm hoping to come back to habit tracking in the fall. I feel the fall is such a great time to reset and readjust, and so we will go from there. Summer's a really hard time to start habits because you're out of routine, and routine is huge for me. So we'll start that again in the fall. And here I'm doing a to-do list. Now, my thought here was, you write notes, and out of your notes, you might come up with some to-do items. Now, yes, you can highlight them to have them stand out, but I wanted to kind of tie in what I did with the calendar page into the notes page. And so that brown piece of the piece of craft paper you see is going to be a place where I can isolate my to-dos from my notes. I have a couple things going on. I have a few groups that I'm so lucky to be a part of, and we meet. Sometimes we meet once a month, sometimes we meet twice a month. And then I joined the student-parent council. So those meetings are once a month. And so that's what that's all for. And this is my monthly layout, my weekly layout. I think this is the first time I did a layout like this. So we're going to see how it goes. Again, I'm tying that whole junk journal-y / craft paper thing on this page as well. I basically like to think of it as functional junk journaling almost. I think it's a stretch. Let me know if you think it's a stretch. I did a lot of cuts and edits in this part of the video. I do apologize. It was basically me putting my cat on the floor. It was probably 8 minutes of me just putting my cat on the floor. So I cut it out so that you didn't have to watch that. But I did my heading, to-do heading. That's where my to-do list is going to be. On the craft paper, you're going to see my priority for the week. And then my box on the far side there is next week. And I'm doing my calendar stamp so that I can see the dates. I really do want to work ahead. And working ahead, I get really confused and lost in time. And so having that calendar stamp helps ground me. And that is why I will always do the calendar stamps. I started adding the dates of the days in as well, because that's become important too. And then I cut down one of the little swatch pieces that I put together and put it in my journal and stuck a sticker over top of it. And I actually really love it. I think it ties together really nicely. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you have any comments or questions, please don't hesitate to leave them down below. I would love to hear what your theme for June is, or if you're into the whole fruit thing. I've been pretty much consumed with fruit for the last, oh my goodness, it's been almost a year. It's been 11 months. I first sketched out these fruit back in July of 2022. So yeah, these have been living rent-free in my head now for almost a year. So thank you so much for your time today. Like and subscribe if you enjoy this content, and I will see you in the next one.